in the room. Bucks win it again. They are winners of 5 of their last 6. That's what we talked about. Remember we talked about before that a long time ago. They're going to win 16 or 18 or what? They're going 13-3, whatever. Well, we called it. We needed to go 5 out of 6 in the 6 games leading up to the break. They do it. They win 5 of their last 6. They're in position now. They are, I believe the Bucks are currently tied with the Chicago Bulls for the 11th spot. Play in. Here we come. 110-93. Bucks win it. Come on in the room. Darvin Ham is our doctor. He writes out all our scripts. He gives us our medicine in our room. We got a lot. Creams in the cross.
Chris King.
Justin.
Yeah. Come on in the room, baby. Come on in the room. Tankers, get in the room. Tankers, get. Hey, what Deion say? Do you believe now? Do you believe now? The Bucks have something going. The vibes are immaculate. This is a different basketball team than you have seen since before the All-Star break. Well, and before now going into the All-Star break. This is a different team. This team looks ready to compete. Every single night they compete now. Even the loss the other night to Orlando, they were in that game up to the third quarter. I mean, it got away from them a little bit, but they were in, and then they responded the next night. This is different. This feels different. How about it one time for John Horst? How about it one time for John Horst at the deadline, doing what he does? Get at us in the chat on the YouTube. Get at us on the Twitter at TCIIIYEEE. Oh, man, I'm feeling good headed into this All-Star break, fellas. Come on in the room. Huge win. Get to your Super Chats in a second. 110-93. Bucks win it. Let's get a recap in. How about our guy? No, I'll do Super Chats before we do. Steeler Face Super Chat. He says, he says, hello, Cream City. We're back, department. I'd like to file a goddamn claim. We got that old thing back. I like that. Like to file a goddamn claim. I like that, Steeler Face. That boy, hey, hey, hit that theme music. Hit that theme music. It's just me, Oos. Day one, it's just me, Oos. That boy balling. That boy serious. Daryl Clayton Super Chat. He says, we back. Ousmane might be him. Horse got one. Day one, it's just me, Oos. Ousmane Dieng. 19. I don't know if I want to. Ousmane Dieng. Where that boy from? Where is he from? Oh, he from oh, okay. I thought he was about to be in Rush Hour 4. I didn't know what you were talking about. Ousmane Dieng. 19, 11, 6 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks, 7 of 12, 3 for 6 from the three-point line, plus 16 on the night. That boy good. Ousmane Dieng. What were the Chicago Bulls thinking? I get why OKC had to give him up. They got a bunch of talent. But you get traded to the Bulls, and the Bulls this is a guy the Bulls, these are the type of players the Bulls should be looking for. And you just give him up willy-nilly? That another a miss, absolute miss from our neighbors to the south. They absolutely whiffed, because you have to keep this guy in your organization. He looks like a player, ladies and gentlemen. That is we said it before the show, Chris. That's what I wanted to see, because the other night, what I saw from Ousmane Dieng was three ball. And again, it looked fluid. It looked nice, but I couldn't fully buy into that. Like I saw a foundation of what I liked, but I'm like, he can't do that every night. He ain't shooting 6 threes every night. You know, I can't fully buy into that. I like it. I need to see more. Tonight I saw the full arsenal. 6 assists. I thought from a passing perspective, he was great. Defensively, not just the blocks, but being in the right spot at all times. I thought that was great. And then you saw a variety of scoring from him. You saw him hit 3 threes. You saw him get to his spots. You saw him get a little turnaround. You saw him with some handle. You saw a little bit of everything from Ousmane Dieng, man. That was incredible tonight. 36 minutes. There's a question as to I think there's a legitimate question as to whether he should start for the rest of the year. I legitimately think there's a question as to whether you put him in the starting lineup as your starting three. Now, again, maybe I don't know. Maybe it should be. I don't know. But there's got to be a question of whether this kid needs to be in the lineup at all, because I can't deny what my eyes see. Kyle Kuzma, 14, 4, and 2. Great first half. Nothing in the second half. He was 5-15 from the field. But he wasn't +8. But his first half was great. He had a huge and won the game. I thought his first half was really good. Just didn't do anything in the second half. Sims, only 19 minutes, got to watch the fouls. 8 points, 5 rebounds tonight, 1 block, 4-5 from the field. No complaints from him. I thought Kevin Porter Jr., he only had 12 points and 7 assists. He was 6 of 15, 40% from the field. I thought he controlled the game very well, even though he didn't shoot. Again, he's a jump shooting type player. He's going to have some off nights, kind of like Damian Lillard. When we saw Dame, and not the same player, but when we saw Dame, he had some of those nights where he shot tour dates, and, you had to find ways to be impactful. 3 steals tonight from KPJ. How many turnovers? 3 turnovers. I told you I can handle 3 or less. With the amount that he handles the ball, I can handle 3 or less. I thought tonight, even though he didn't score the ball, I like him to be in that 18 to 20-ish range scoring. But I thought he controlled the tempo, controlled the flow, controlled the game, limited turnovers, and I didn't have a problem with anything that he did. Again, you wish he would have scored more, but it's a make or miss league. AJ Green tonight, a lot of times you see him just kind of running around. This is the AJ Green that can play. 6 of 14, 5-11 from 3, 17 points. You gotta provide impact. You have to go out and produce. It can't be that you just out there. The threat of him shooting threes, that threat has to be real. The threat of you scoring has to come to fruition. And it came to fruition tonight with AJ Green. That's what I'm looking to see from him. And at the end, I think he does all the little things well. And I thought defense, there was a possession, man, where Chet Holmgren, I think it was the start of the game, and Chet did something I see Miles Turner do all the time. You got a small on you, AJ Green's on him, and you fading away shooting. Like, what are you doing? And he missed it. Of course he missed it. You're 7 feet tall. AJ Green's 6'5". Like, why are you fading away on that? So again, if you're gonna give him the body, he had a couple great possessions. I thought AJ Green was phenomenal tonight, all the way around. Bobby Portis, beautiful game. 15, 12, 3 assists, 4 steals, 6 of 11 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, plus 19. I mean, he hit some shots in the fourth quarter that were great. Thought he stayed into it. Thought he was impactful. Thought again, and his defense. Defense, rebounding. Great job from him. Thought Pete Nance was great as well. 11, 7, 2 assists. Fought hard. Cam Thomas, 12 points, 2 assists. Hey, he was 5 of 13, plus 15. He's up to his nickname. Cam, get it off the rim, Thomas, because that boy ain't passing for nothing. You got to get it off the rim. Again, it's a spark plug. That's what I want from Cam Thomas, a spark plug. There was a moment in this game where OKC got it down to 7, and I was looking, when is Darvin Ham going to put Cam Thomas back in the game? Puts him back in, and immediately Cam Thomas gets a paint touch, and I believe he passes to Pete Nance for a corner 3. That's you ball movement. I saw somebody in the chat. Ball movement tonight was excellent. Ajax got a little burnt. Darvin Ham, get that clipboard. You might get in the game, Ajax. 2 points. I thought Ajax had 5 good. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he had 5 decent minutes. Like he ran around just as good as Gary Harris can. Was that a message to Doc Rivers? Because usually in that runaround time is Gary Harris. I thought Ajax had a nice putback dunk. I don't know. You guys tell me, was that a message to Gary to Doc? Like, hey, look down that bench now. I want the athletic guy over the guy running around. Nah, give me the athletic guy. That's what I'll do. OKC 9 points for Lou Dort. Williams 9 points, 8 rebounds. Chet 16 and 13, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Isaiah Joe has 17. Cason Wallace 3 points. Wiggins 5 points. Caruso 9. Jared McCain had 13. Topic.
Don't do it.
No. No.
Don't do it.
All right. I won't do it. I won't do it. Okay. All right. I won't do it. Hey, listen, it was a nice story. It was a nice story. It was a nice story of coming back. It was a nice story, but man, I just thought, like, come on. Like, I mean, it was real. It was real. I won't do it. Topic, nice story coming back. Appreciate the crowd, gave him some cheers. He ran around out there. Glad he got his feet wet. Let me see. Yeah. All right, I'll leave the rest alone. But tonight, I thought the Bucks. Stop, Justin. I thought the Bucks tonight, man. What I expected to see happen, what I really expected to see happen, was OKC. You know what their MO is. They body you. They're tougher than you. They get up in you. They do all the different things. And the referees don't call it. I thought the Bucks were the aggressors tonight, and that was to me the difference in this game. The Bucks, they out rebounded Oklahoma City 49-47. I don't know what's funny. They outshot him from the 3-point line. Oh, did chat say something?
You started that.
I didn't start nothing.
Yes,
I'm not saying I didn't see nothing. I ain't even looking at the chat real quick.
Boy, y'all better get on y'all knees and pray tonight.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say a word. But I thought the Bucks were the aggressors tonight, and to me that was the difference to go along with just how well they played. This is a different looking team, man. I'll leave it there. Different looking team. Let me get to super chats, and then I'll let you have it, Chris King. Let's see where we're at. Let me see. I'm missing one. Here we go. Tesman 201 with the super chat says Gary Trent finally banished to the Shadow Realm. Listen, but again, that's the question. Is this for Gary Trent? Well, no, Doc didn't play him the other night either. So yeah, I was about to say, was that a Darvin Ham thing? But Doc didn't play him the other night. I agreed. When you got Ousmane Dieng coming in, when you got Cam Thomas coming in, yeah, I don't need any more of Gary Trent, the Gary Trent types. William Moraine 6494 with the super chat says John always finds the gems. Horse, I like that. Dieng might just be the truth. Him and Cam might have changed this season around. It looks like it. 5 of 6. You're in position. It looks like it. That's what you wanted to see. And listen, I again, we asked the other night, have we seen enough? We'll see. These next 4 or 5 coming out of the break are going to be big. It makes you not even. Somebody said to me on Twitter, it makes you wish you didn't have a break. You just want to keep rolling with this momentum. But it's good. Guys can get a break. Ryan Rollins can get himself. Hopefully, he can get back with the plantar fasciitis. Although they've won 2 in a row without him. But you want this team to get fully ingrained back into this thing and bring Giannis back. We talked about it again. Giannis has to play this way. He's got to be watching this and play this way. Ball movement was great tonight. Derek Clayton, super chat, he says Rollins, AJ, Gus, Oos. I see. I told you, my eyes, man. Oos, Giannis, Miles, we coming for the Pistons. I like the fight. I forgot. Miles didn't play tonight either. Didn't miss a beat. You're absolutely right. Listen, the Pistons don't scare me. They don't scare. Again, we had the best player on the court. If you can play like this, you can make some noise. NYC Randy super chat says Darvin had him hooping and playing the best defense I've seen all year. The biggest thing Cam and Pete has us winning the biggest thing is Cam and Pete have us winning the bench minutes. Ousmane should start the rest of the year, 6'9" wing that can shoot. You know what's interesting in NYC? The funny thing about that, they say, if you look at the Thunder Twitter and people, they say Oos is actually more like 6'10". They say that 6'9" is actually like what he came in his rookie year as, and they say they think he's more like 6'10". So he has continued to grow. But yeah, I think that's the question. Do you start him? That's a good question. We got a couple more super chats here. I'll get to it. Daryl Clayton super chat. We twerking tonight. It's Magic City up in this mama. Daryl Clayton says, "Yo, all I know is I saw." Oh Lord, see y'all, come on, not with the super chat. All I know, see, I gotta read it now. All I know is I saw some Make-A-Wish comments on Twitter, not me though. See, that's not right, Daryl. That ain't right, dog. You can't do that. You can't do that, man. I rebuke you. That you can't do that, man. See,
I'm not laughing. I'm praying.
I'm not laughing. I'm praying too. Jesus be offense. Basketball Reach 511. Basketball Reach 511 says Bucks to record 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 3 threes, and no turnovers in the game. Interesting stat line. Giannis and Ousmane Dieng start him at the 3 moving forward. I like it, man. I love it. Beautiful job tonight. Day 1-ish, just me, Oos. We found something, dog. We found something. This guy. Now, this is what I will say. And again, I love Ryan Rollins. I love Ryan Rollins. I love Ryan Rollins. I like him. I like Ryan Rollins. A great player. This is like, when I see that, that's a guy I look at and go, hold up. I see little tidbits of stardom. Like, I think Rollins can be really, really good. I think he can be good. I'm just talking about from a ceiling perspective. Oos likely will not be a superstar or a star. He probably won't. Let's be honest. But I'm talking about in terms of evaluation. When I look at a guy and I go, what does this guy have? And I look at size, I look at it. That's when I go, stop. See, I'm about to say, that's when, as a coach, now if you get an old school coach, they say, that's when my pecker get hard. That's when you get paid. Because I see, that's what I see. I'm like, hey now. That's what I'm looking at when I'm looking for that. I'm wilding right now. Chris, that's all I got. That's all I got, Chris. What you see?
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that one up. I'm going to get us back on the straight and narrow. How about that? So, yeah, Oos, I mean, I was super impressed. Again, just sticking with the theme of, like, gang rebounding too, and the effort, and that was all there all game. Like, you saw him, you saw Pete Nance, you saw Bobby Portis even. I thought Bobby had a great night. I gotta give Bobby his props, especially in the second half. He knocked down a lot of shots, but the gang rebounding was really good. I know OKC's like depth in the front court isn't great right now, but that's the same thing with us, right? Miles Turner out, Giannis out, and so it was going to be a battle, and they were going to have to gang rebound, and they were going to have to really swarm OKC, and they did that, and that's why I thought we came up with a lot of possessions on that end. So, yeah, I'm in agreement with NYC too. Like, I thought the defense looked really good. I thought guys were rotating. I thought guys were hustling out to open shooters, and we certainly benefited from OKC missing a lot of open ones down the stretch. But that's just what has to happen. We can't blow assignments. We can't leave open shooters, and I thought we did a really good job of closing out tonight. Offensively, yeah, Oos was phenomenal. You talk about the variety that he brings, and one that specifically sticks out in my mind is when he didn't dip on the 3. It was like a late shot clock. I think KPJ passed it to him. Somebody passed it to him, and he just kept it up high and knocked it down. And that was really impressive to me. And then everything else in between offensively from Oos was just phenomenal. And, yeah, you're right. You certainly have a lot in Ousmane Dieng. I think he can be a really good player in this league, and he can be a really good player for this Bucks team, especially when we get healthy too. And it just goes to show that this depth is so damn good now. Like, the night and day difference from before we got these two guys in Cam Thomas and Ousmane Dieng, like, it's insane to go and look at what this bench unit could do when we're fully healthy, when guys come back. You certainly have a lot of options, and that's why I'm not mad at Cam Thomas going 5 of 13 tonight, because he made an open shot that was big in the corner down the stretch, I think in the third quarter, that extended our lead back to double digits. He was able to get to the rim a couple of times and finish, and like those are the kind of spark plugs we're going to need, just guys that can score at a high level and then also compete with effort, and I think those two guys did that tonight. And yeah, like, I'm not going to be too mad about Cam Thomas's a little bit of an off night when last night he goes for 34, and he didn't do anything too detrimental to the squad today. And Pete Nance, again, he found ways to battle on the defensive end and knock down a couple open shots that were big. And this was just a total complete effort by this Bucks team, and made a ton of tough shots too. And that'll happen. That'll get you a big win over a Thunder team that's pretty decent, obviously shorthanded, but pretty still really good. And, you know, we were due for one of these games like this where it just seemed like we weren't going to miss and the Thunder weren't going to make. And that's what this league is, and we were able to come out on the right side of it. So all in all, I'm very impressed, very happy that the Bucks are able to go in to All-Star break with stuff to look forward to instead of tanking.
Man, so your player of the game tonight was Oos again. That's 2 nights in a row where he's back-to-back player of the game. being in Milwaukee in 3 games. To me, that's just amazing. His comments were, "I'm just having fun. I haven't felt like this in a long time. It was fun playing against those guys. Those guys are my brothers. I learned here. I grew up here, but I just want to help this current team win now." And then Kane asked him about his conversation with the Williams boys, and he said it was just basically just some basic catch up. Good job for him not sharing what he probably shouldn't have shared. So we get to Coach Ham. Rewarding experience. Things got unstable about 3 weeks ago. Doc told all our coaches and all our players to hunker down, get back to the basics, and that's what you're starting to see, some of the fruits of the labor. We got to finish everything with a rebound. You have to play after the play. And what they were doing with a lot of this practice stuff is if they messed it up, they would stop, redo it, and do it again until they got it right. This is a good way to be ready for the break. You don't, just like Chris just said, it's funny. Chris and Trey, y'all should have coached the team tonight because y'all done said a lot of Darvin's quotes, but he said it's a lot better to go into this break with a win versus a loss because you think about that loss for 6, 7, 8 days, however long it is. Aggressive team. He really complimented the leadership of Doc Rivers. So I know that a lot of folks get on Doc's X's and O's, but I think one thing Doc still can do pretty well is lead because Darvin believes in him, coaching staff believes in him, but he says that credit the leadership of Doc Rivers. The defense was spectacular. And this was a championship team that they beat tonight, top to bottom. He knew, just like Chris said, he knew they were out several guys, but they're still a championship level team. And he made sure that he brought in the fact that they just beat the brakes off of the Phoenix Suns last night, who's a very good basketball team as well. Oos is just scratching the surface here. He's so young, and we found the jewel. He's going to help us in our immediate future and our future coming up. I thought that was a key quote right there. We've been losing the possession game. Doc unleashed the team and told them to go after getting extra possessions. Miles missing the game tonight was just precautionary. These pieces are starting to get a lot more experience, and they're starting to learn things, and this is really going to pay back when both the big fellas come back, and I think that was in reference to Giannis and Miles. Shots are better than turnovers, obviously. Holding the ball against this aggressive Oklahoma City defense can cost you, and we had to go get the ball off the rim tonight. They're going to try to minimize the bad plays. You saw a lot of stuff, a couple bad things, and they're doing that with tape, and he mentioned that earlier. And some of the things they asked him, what led to this turnaround? Watching film, coming in on days and doing something. Added to the element of chasing every possession, and this is why February is the best month of basketball for the Milwaukee Bucks so far since early November. I'm just thoroughly excited, man. I didn't want to tank. I don't know how to tank. I don't like tanking. If we get a draft pick, that's great, but I just like seeing these guys hoop, man. All these guys, it doesn't matter where it comes from. Like Chris mentioned, Cam was a little bit off tonight, but what'd you have? You had Oos pick him up. You had Pete Nance pick him up. You had Kyle Kuzma pick him up. I thought Bobby was great. I thought Andre Jackson Jr., you saw a little bit of that UConn point forward stuff that he was doing in that 5 minutes of basketball. Crash the boards. And I'm not saying one dunk wins or loses a basketball game, but sometimes that can get the momentum going in the right way. Congrats to the dude for being out there. That was great. You got your sweat up. He didn't really do much, but that's okay. The dude that annoys me though is Caruso, man. I just can't stand that dude, man. I've never liked him when he was a Bull. I didn't like him when he had the little bit of armpit hair he had on top of his head. And he's the guy you need on your team, right? He got the offensive foul on Jericho to send him to the bench and stuff like that. He's just a smart basketball player. And if he's not on your team, you hate him. I'm sure we got a couple guys like that, but we should be really excited now. Going into the break 5 out of 6, we're tied. Are we a game ahead of the Bulls in the loss column, I believe, but tied with them?
Let's see where we actually are with them here. Let me look real quick. We are, yes, we actually have we're one game up. They have one game up in the win column. We're one game down in the loss column. Or excuse me, yes, they have 31 losses, Bucks have 30.
And tied with
and same with Atlanta. We have 30 losses. Atlanta has 30 losses. Atlanta does have 3 more wins on the year.
And we're one game, I believe, or 2 games behind the Hornets, correct?
2 games behind the Hornets in the win. Yes, and two games period behind the Hornets. Correct.
But the good thing about that Charlotte thing is all we got to do is tie them because we got the season series winning them. We beat them 2-1 this year, I believe. So
Okay.
things are lining up well for us, and all we got to do is just play basketball and let things decide themselves. This team has a lot of energy, and it's going to continue to go up when guys come back. So exciting win. Credit to OKC, man. You know, those guys are good, but they kind of do some punk stuff with resting a lot of guys. I saw it in San Antonio too. Them guys don't want to travel, but it's all good, man. Bucks win. That's all that matters.
Listen, and again, this has been a great group, even with all the injuries they've had. So I'm gonna take it as a big time dub. Again, that's what they choose to do. That's how they play. Listen, and the injuries, they irrespective for me, the Bucks are missing Giannis. They didn't have Miles Turner. They didn't have Ryan Rollins, who again, say whatever. Ryan Rollins has been throughout the year. If you take Giannis off, he's a second, third, whether you want to call him second, third best player, wherever you think he's a top three. He's a starting level player on the Milwaukee Bucks right now. So the Bucks are missing guys too, and we were on a back-to-back too. So no, I listen, as we don't like to give Doc that excuse all the time on whatever excuses you want to give. I'm not giving OKC them excuses either. Mark Daigneault could. I plenty of times I've seen the Bucks come out with a roll out of team and could have lost that game very easily, very easily. So the Bucks did what they had to do. And again, wasn't like they squeaked by a win tonight. And here's the other thing: Vegas. I don't want to hear that. Vegas didn't believe in us. We were 13.5-point dogs tonight. So no, and they knew exactly the roster up to game time. They had all the rosters put in place, knew exactly what everybody was, who was there, who played, all of that. And Vegas looked and said, OKC is 13.5 points better than them boys. And we whooped that ass. So respectfully, that makes what do you say? Make me know never mind about how that went. So, but again, to your point, whether it's getting in the film study, whether it's getting in the gym, these guys are what I see from this basketball team is a team that's playing with purpose. And I don't know, again, whether it's film, whether it's listening to the coaching, I don't know. But there seem to be, for the most part, there are purposeful movements within the offense versus pass around the horn, dribble hand. Like they're running sets. They're running sets for guys going down the floor. And it used to, remember we talked about all the time, East-West, everything East-West. And to me, the moment in the game, it was in the third quarter where they got into a little bit of a rock fight. And again, credit the Bucks defense for keeping them in it. But the Bucks were having trouble scoring because to me, there was a lot of East-West stuff going. And you stopped getting North-South. And really, you only had one guy in KPJ that could get North-South. And everybody, you had AJ, who was perimeter, looking for a three. But if it's not there, he's not doing nothing. You had, I believe, Ian Jericho Sims. Offensively, he's limited. You had Kuz, who didn't do anything in the second half. And I'm trying to remember who else was in with those guys. Might have been Dieng. And but you really weren't getting anything downhill. And because again, you got to get downhill to be able to pass out to those guys that are open and get those looks. And because again, the whole point of ball movement, the whole point of getting down here, you want the defense to shift. That's the whole purpose of movement and action. It's not for your health. It's so that you get guys running and you get guys moving and you get guys out of position. And then one pass here, if you make a wrong rotation, now I got an open guy for three. Or if I get you moving and you're late, now you're a step late. Pete Nance got enough time to wind up. AJ Green, they showed a great graphic. AJ Green, his shot timer, he put up a shot in like 0.7 seconds. Or his reaction. If the ball is yes, if you just pass it to AJ and he's standing there and there's nothing going, he got to do that's not. But if the ball is hopping and now I got to get a guy who has come from the paint, who now has to run out. If you didn't get there, boom, that three's going up. And it's the ball movement that has changed everything on this team. Everything's purposeful, and then defensively. Again, 3 turnovers for KPJ. I was just impressed. I was impressed with no Rollins, with Cam Thomas. Again, is he really a point guard? He's really a combo guard. You had Kuz bring the ball. You had Dieng bringing the ball up. I thought their pressure was going to be too much for us to handle. And again, a lot of times what I hate about the Bucks is you have teams that they bring the punch to the Bucks, and you have to be the reactor. You got to react. A lot of times in fights, you see people fight. You could tell a lot of times who's the aggressor. Who again, I'm not saying every time the person who reacts is going to lose or the counter punch, but a lot of times the guy who's aggressive is the one who's bringing the fight to the other guy. That's the guy who's usually winning. And too many times the Bucks are having to react and to everything that's going, and they're not being proactive. And I thought tonight they were proactive on both ends.
To expand on that point too, it's like I think just the threat of guys being able to get to the rim has opened up a lot around the perimeter. A lot of times we saw kind of a slower pace kind of passing around the perimeter. The ball isn't popping as much, but when you have guys, Cam Thomas getting to the rim, Ousmane can get to the rim, Kuzma in the first half can get to the rim. It opens up a lot, and especially when you have the threat. I know Jericho didn't play all that well tonight because of the fouls, but I thought when he was in, I think he is a threat to offensive rebound. He is a guy who can attack the glass offensively, and that just creates extra possessions. It creates extra ball movement, and I think that's why it just goes to your point when you talk about being the aggressor, and I think that offensively really shows with these new additions and certain guys stepping up and playing well and just playing with a whole bunch of more effort and maybe not being hampered by the trade deadline and all the rumors and the locker room stuff and everything like that. I think they're playing loose. I think they're playing free. And then defensively, that carries as well, that attacking the glass offensively and defensively. And it just, again, creates more possessions, creates more ability to get out and transition for this Bucks team, and I think that's a big reason why you see us being the aggressor now, and the product just looks a ton better.
What's crazy to me is how quickly this synergy is coming together, though, with these guys only being here less than a full week, and they're already playing like they've been together for 3-4 weeks, and you hit it on the head. Someone coming in that locker room has really hit a kickstart in this igniter, and now this team is getting ready to go off. And I think that that big guy, 34, I think he wants it back in blood. And he's coming for it. And he's heard everything that all these people have said. He's gotten hacked all year and all that other stuff, and he has something to prove. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're anybody else in this NBA, this is a team you don't want to play. And I know it's 2 games. I know we're 7 games under 500 and all this. But if this stuff keeps growing like this, we're going to be scary. Who knows how high we'll get in those standings? All that stuff will play out itself. I forgot to do it in the original thing, but I did want to send the condolences out to Doc Rivers, because the reason why Darvin was coaching was because he had to attend the funeral. They didn't say who, what, or whatever. And one other one, I think that guy's name that does some Twitter stuff that he's part of Save Our Bucks, Paul Henning. I know they did something for his father last week. He lost his father. You know, in this Bucks thing, we're all family. Even if we cuss you out or get on our nerves or get on you, whatever the case may be. And, just Godspeed to him too. But, man, it's an exciting time to be a Bucks fan. We about to pull these black gloves back out on these people. We about to put the mask on. We coming for it, man. And if you in the way, then get your ass off the tracks, because you'll get ran over, because Giannis coming. No pause.
Listen, man, if they play like this, if they're playing like this what is that? The ceiling's the roof. Ceiling is the roof. If you're playing like this, that's what you want to see. And again, if Giannis comes back and he's playing within the system the way it should just get better from here. And again, you got better players around him. You got a spark plugging Cam off the bench. The team is there. It's coming together. And what we thought, and again, we knew that's the thing. It's crazy. It's crazy because it's literally coming together, kind of how we talked about at the beginning of the year. And if you guys remember, Elijah James says we're too optimistic. But if you remember the beginning of the year, one of the points I kept talking about, I kept making was, what are the Bucks going to do when Giannis is out? How are they going to produce? And the other point we kept making was, this team, I don't see how this team is built for everybody to be healthy. And if everybody's not healthy, they will probably struggle. And literally, first game of the year, KPJ goes down. And so, and then the injuries mounted from there. And I think we knew that, yeah, you still got to do some of the trade deadline. Still got, and you're starting to, again, it is filling out just a little bit. But if Dieng is really like that, that is a game changer that you like. And Cam Thomas can be a game changer too. He'll have games like tonight where, again, he was a spark plug, but it wasn't the best of nights from him. But again, I see him. Biggest thing for me, Cam Thomas. I think I see him trying on the other end too. But Dieng that's a game changer. He is a true. If this is what he is, it's a true game changer because he's hitting the three. He can play off the dribble. Like he's a 6'10" guy. That's what everybody looks for. What we talk, you got to get a big wing. Got to get a big wing. That's all we talk. And it's this mythical creature that's so hard to find. I got to get a big wing. Okay, well, Kyle Kuzma. And then Kuz's biggest issue is really up here because he's an athlete. He defends, but when he's out of control. And I can't trust him at all times. Now, he's gotten much better this year than he was last year by far because I think he reeled himself in. But what I really need is a guy who's that size that doesn't need to be reeled in, that can play free and can go, and I can trust to be in control and make good decisions and not play stupid. And right now, that's what Dieng looks like. And again, if his game expands, that is a talent, man. That's a talent. What I've seen over a couple games from Ousmane Dieng.
Oh yeah, he certainly is, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that we're too optimistic because I just checked, and if you guys remember last year when we brought in KPJ right before the All-Star break, we went out. I think we didn't have Dame or Giannis, and we beat Minnesota, and we were all hype, but we were like, damn, now how are we gonna carry the momentum through All-Star break? You realize they won 7 out of 8 right after All-Star break last year. So I can't sit here and say that can't happen again, and so I'm excited to see how this looks, get guys back healthy, and see how it plays out after the All-Star break. Because I think there is some positives to just a week off, and obviously heavy minutes from the backcourt there with KPJ. He's been hurting a little bit on and off. I think it could do wonders for this Bucks team.
Yeah, and that week off will allow those guys that just got here to finally get to the city of Milwaukee because they've been on this road trip, touch base, get their bearings, figure out where they're going to be sleeping for the next few months, hopefully a few months, right? But the other thing is that it's just if we come out 7 out of 8, we're really going to scare a lot of people in this NBA. Oh, my bad. But one of the biggest things that you're going to see with Oos hopefully this summer is the summer to work with Giannis. With him being a European guy, being a Frenchman, maybe he goes over there to Greece with Giannis, and maybe they work out all summer together, and he gets bigger, he gets stronger. But the kid is he's filling it up, and we talked about it before the trade deadline. Trey, you mentioned it as far as trying to get a big wing, but remember, that was my pushback as far as trading Kuz, because these type of guys just don't fall out of a tree. And Lord have mercy, John Horst has had a guy fall out of a tree.
Found one.
I gotta get this picture hung up on my wall, me and John Horst, man, because that dude, gosh darn it, he might be the greatest GM in Bucks history.
Listen, I've always, we talk about it, I think he gets way too much flack on here on Twitter and on social media and in our chat too. I like John Horst. Again, he talked about his draft. Somebody else said we should just let OKC draft for us. The Bucks. I'm telling you, John Horst basically he hits on young players. He just can't draft it. It's almost like he has to see him in an NBA system first before he knows, okay, this guy can play. Because again, you talk about go through the list. Rollins, I think we all knew, we should have known KPJ could play, but Rollins, a KPJ, a Ousmane Dieng, Jericho Sims, who's
Pete
playing
Nance.
much better as Pete Nance, all these guys that are young guys who John Horst is basically nailed on. And then you look at his drafting and it's Marjon Beauchamp, DJ Wilson, what's some AJ Johnson.
That whole draft
Like,
is not on the roster. 2 years ago,
yeah,
the draft is not on the roster. Like,
yeah. It's like those are the guys, and Andre Jackson, like those are the guys. Chris Livingston, those are the guys that we're like. Now again, he did hit an undrafted free agent. I was about to say AJ Green, but he did hit on AJ. That was an undrafted free agent. But those are the guys, man. But Quick Draw says he has cowards luck. I don't. At some point, it's not luck. I don't think it's. I think that Tyler Smith, good call, James Moore. But at some point, like that, that department has something going in how they evaluate NBA talent. And Solomon Jules says you almost be in horse pockets. I'm just caught, like I said, like I just named 6 guys that are producing right now. Just named them. Young play. Cam Thomas is 24. We just named a ton of young guys that are producing. Like at some point, this ain't luck. At some point, I did want to ask somebody in the chat. Say, rock thick.
Hey, yo.
Rock Thice 24 said
Yikes.
what's the rotation when fully healthy? KPJ, Green, Jang, Greek, Turner, or Tom and then Thomas, Rollins, Kuz, Nance / Portis Sims. Let me ask you guys. Let's do that really quick. That experiment. What is this rotation fully healthy? What do you want it to look like? What should that starting lineup look like? Are you putting Jang in there, or what does this look like?
Yeah, I am actually. I just think that we still had rebounding problems even with Giannis and Turner still in that front court, and Kuzma had been a guy who would be able to step up in that role. But I just think that what you're getting from Jang can be more consistent. The ceiling may not be as high just yet. Like you see Kuz go for 31 the other night. Like I don't know if we're getting that exactly, but I mean you see 19, 11, 6, and 4. Like I think that's much more valuable on any given night than what Kuz his highest highs and his lowest lows. So I think he would provide a lot, and I think it's a fairly easy role to step into when you have Giannis and Turner, but it's also a role that you're going to be asked to be doing a lot of dirty work. You're going to be asked to be rebounding a lot. You're going to be asked to defend. Now we know he can do things like defend after seeing what he did tonight. Like Lou Dort tries to take him off the dribble, and Lou Dort's a much bigger guy when it comes to strength, but he strips him. He puts his body in front of him, strips him. Obviously 4 blocks. So he can be the guy in that lineup. I think the more of the focus should honestly be on like what is going to happen with this backcourt. Because I think KPJ, he's got to be your guy. I think he's the best point guard on the team. When it comes to running an offense, when it comes to getting guys involved, he can have those times where he goes kind of shot chucker mode, or he gets a little too over his head and just is just a guy who's shooting. But I think the ability to put him in pick and rolls with Giannis, with Miles Turner, I think that does wonders, opens up the ball movement, and doesn't ask Giannis to do too much. And then it's like, all right, well, you see what KPJ can do with AJ Green, slide him at the 2, and then you got Rollins and Cam Thomas both coming off the bench. So I think that's where I would go, but I think the front court is set in stone, and the backcourt still has a little bit of question marks there.
For me, it's always tough to, even last year, I didn't want to put Kuz or whoever was up into the starting lineup when they were playing well. But I think with Us, I think we got something going there. And like Chris mentioned, he can defend the basketball, which is one of the things that Kuz can do as well. So I'm okay with putting him in there. I might still go. I think AJ Green might be your odd man out, and that's tough to say because he just had a hell of a shooting night tonight. But I don't know if I put Rollins on that bench yet because Rollins can get a heater too. Like, this is a great problem to have. 4 weeks ago, we were desperate. We were anemic, looking for someone to score the basketball. And now we're like, damn, who do we put here with this 5? Who do we put here with this 5? But I think I got to go Turner. I got to go Giannis. I got to go Big Oos. After the All-Star break, I'm going to start out. I'm going to go Double R at my 2. And I'm going to go KPJ at the 1. And I think you're seeing a lot of the stuff that
So you moved AJ Green to the bench unit.
I do move him to the bench unit. And the reason why is because if Oos is going to shoot the ball like this, I'm going to need someone to shoot that ball off that bench too. If you got an AJ Green off the bench, shoot the ball like that, that's going to open up post-ups for Bobby. It's going to open up driving lanes for Kuz. And the other thing that's going to be real important, me, and you know my phrase that pays. You know what I'm going to say? What do I say?
What's that?
It ain't what?
What's
it ain't
that?
who started, it's who finishes.
Who finishes? Yeah. Yeah, you know, it is interesting because and we talk about AJ Green, and you, Chris, you talked about the dirty work, right? And I probably need to, because I've been arguing with I don't dislike Bucks breakdown. I think he's I think he's sometimes be a tool, but anyway, he's been jabbing back and forth. So I'll say this about AJ Green. I think that because you say take him out of the starting lineup. What I will say about AJ, I do agree. That's what I say. Chris has said, well, if Ousmane is going to be in the starting lineup, he's got to do dirty work, and I agree with that. If he's starting, he's got to do dirty work, because I will say that I think AJ Green, he does do some dirty work. He does. From a screening perspective, and the other thing when you say he's got to be able to hit shots. The thing that AJ Green does provide is, and that's the thing about when KPJ's been slumping from three. It ain't about whether you hit them. Sometimes it's about the threat. The threat can be so overwhelming. I don't want to leave this guy, and that can open up a lot of things. And you got to be able to pass as well. Which again, AJ Green, he surprised me as a passer. Look, AJ Green's done some really good things, but I think for his true impact, because again. And the other thing is defense, but defensively, my issue with AJ is he's just undersized. And I think he does a great job. He tries really hard. And I think like tonight, I thought he was great defensively, but there's some nights where guys just overpower him. And again, I've always said it. It's not that he ain't trying. It ain't that he's like, it ain't Bobby Portis where you just letting people go. He's moving them puppies. It just, sometimes guys are just a little bit bigger, faster, stronger. And that's where, like, if Ousmane is never going to be the pure shooter that AJ Green, like, it's just not going to happen. But can his threat, and I don't know if his threat's ever going to be enough to really pull you out like an AJ Green can, but I do think he's hitting 11 rebounds. I don't think AJ Green ever had 11. It's 11 rebounds a night. So he's proven he can go get you double-digit rebounds, play 30-plus minutes. I just saw a stat. Hold on, let me just read the stat real quick. Players under 23 to put up 15, 10, and 5 with 4 blocks. You know, two guys have done it. Players under 23, 15, 10, and 5. No, this season. 15, 10, and 5, 4 blocks.
Cooper Flag, and
Dieng tonight.
So Dieng did it tonight. There's one other guy in the NBA under 23 who's put up 15, 10, and 5 and 4 blocks.
Cooper's not it?
No, think about the blocks.
Oh,
Wemby. So you're seeing. So that's what, like, the intangibles that are there. Like, he provides something totally different. But again, can he give you those back screens? Can he do some of those little things? I think AJ Green's is probably one of our smarter players too. Even though he gets himself in foul trouble, I think the refs just don't like him. But and I think, again, he's undersized, so I think he's fighting, and I think refs see it and they go, "Yeah, that's a foul." So, like, again, it's I'm not saying yes or no as to what I would do. It's just it's an interesting call that, you know, would it be Dieng that you take out, or let me ask you this: would you rather have AJ stay in the lineup at the 2 and you move Rollins to the bench to run a bench unit with Cam Thomas?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. The reason I say that is just because I think, again, what's being kind of overlooked is the fact that KPJ and AJ seem to have good synergy when they're out there on the court. It seems like they can get the ball in each other's hands when they need it. KPJ seems to lean on AJ a little bit, and even AJ screens for KPJ at times, and then he flares off. It's like a pick and pop kind of thing. So they do have a little bit going there, and I think that opens up the offense. And realistically, the gripe we've had with AJ this year has just been the foul trouble. like it's been a little bit of that. Sometimes missing some shots down the stretch. Like he has a good 3-point percentage, but when you look at it, and there's been times down the stretch where he's been wide open and missing. Like, of course you're going to get a little bit of backlash from us, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I can't see KPJ and AJ play well together. I can't sit here and say that sometimes it's better when KPJ and Ryan Rollins aren't on the court together. You know, the ball can kind of stick when those two are on the court together. So I think that's where I'm looking. But also, again, I did say that it's going to be a tough decision. That's not an easy decision to make because obviously Ryan Rollins is like 7-foot wingspan and a great defender at that. Yep. So it's a good problem to have for sure. A problem that we weren't going to have a couple weeks ago, and now we've got it. And I couldn't be more happy. Like, At one point, it was us debating A.J. Green and Gary Trent Jr. Now it's Gary Trent Jr. has completely fell off. And that's due to, it's a little bit of repercussions for playing so terrible through the course of the season. But it's also because we've got guys that have stepped into that role and have played really well and have done it consistently now at a small sample size.
Let me get to super chat from Abe Biscotti. He says, if teams with transcendent stars plus reinforced depth tend to advance deep in the postseason and the retooled Bucks show both, then they stand as plausible candidates for a substantial playoff run. So he's saying, of course, you have your star. I agree. You are starting to get some depth. Like that's you look down that bench and you go, okay, Bobby can come in and give me buckets and be on a heater. Sims can come in and give me rebounds if Turner's not playing hard enough, not playing aggressive enough. Jang can Kuzma. Listen, I know he makes $20 million. I love Kuzma at playing 10 to 15 minutes. Kuzma's issue is if you got to play, if you have to rely on Kuzma, that's a problem. If you got to rely, if you're needing to rely on Kyle Kuzma for something, that if you just got him as like a depth piece, hey, come out, I need you to play 8 hard minutes on it. Really, you've seen he's did up Luke. Anybody, hey, we having trouble stopping guy. Kuz, I need minutes. And then sometimes he can get in trend 10 to 15 minutes of Kuzma. I don't have any problem with that. Now, his issue is how much he makes. But he, again, for his 6'10", 6'9" depth piece, that's you love that's the guy you love. You don't want to play in 30. Then you got Cam Thomas, spark plug off the bench, and either one of Ryan Rollins or Adrian. I agree, and I know a lot of people disagree on Twitter. I would agree. I think KPJ's got to be the starting point guard. I agree with that. I think he is the best. Absolutely. You have to reel him in a little bit, but he's the best overall. Like, I think Cam Thomas is, again, he's a get it off the rim guy. Rollins is close, but I don't think he handles the ball as well. And he doesn't get downhill as well and doesn't finish as well. He's a better set shooter, maybe a little bit better of a decision maker, but maybe. But I think he also takes less risk. He takes less like KPJ's going to take much more of a risk with the ball, and that's because he can. He has that much. Sometimes he has that ball on the string, and he doesn't mind taking a risk. Let me get one more. I get you in, Justin. Let me get one more super chat here. NYC Randy boy, we getting the lemon pepper wings at Magic City tonight.
Will.
Yeah. NYC Randy says Bucks. Why you got to do this, man? See, I wasn't gonna do all this. Bucks breakdown is a nerd who don't know ball. He told me last year that AJ Green with minutes would be better than Jaden McDaniels and Trey Murphy. He told you that. If he told you that, you should quote tweet and retweet. You should throw something up there on that. If you got that tweet, he says he's better than Trey Murphy. The game is meant to be watched with your eyes. I agree. Look, we say it all the time. Games meant to be watched, not read. Yeah. Again, I don't call him out specifically, or I have, but like there is a distinct difference between calculator basketball watchers and like remember there's a KD has a what's the KD tweet? I saw it today. I saw it today.
Graphs, like looking at graphs is not fun.
Yeah. It said who the F wants to look at graphs while having a hoop convo? That's what you're dealing like. That's that side of there's a side of basketball Twitter about That's what they do. They look at, their whole thing is graphs, chart. Like, you're talking basketball, and they're going to start talking about graphs and charts. And again, I think it's because they really don't trust their eyes. They really don't trust them. Or they watch film. Again, we break down film. Okay. But I don't think they really trust what they see. And I think it's nothing wrong validating what you see. I use graphs to try to validate things that I don't use them for my own kind of to try to, because again, you can make a number say what you can make you can make a number say whatever you want to say. Numbers do lie. You can make them say whatever you want to say if you feel like it. Go ahead, Justin.
Nah, for sure. Statistics are meant to prove your point and finesse your point and flip your point any way possible. Let me give AJ a little bit of love tonight, though, because I know I put the brother on the bench, and I felt like he played a hell of a basketball game tonight. The thing that really impressed me, though, was his ability to take the ball off the dribble and find other people and make the right pass. And I think you really got to watch closely to that. Some of the stuff why AJ looks like a terrible mismatch on defense is because whatever scheme we're running at times, he gets put into the block by Paolo Banchero. And I mean, he doesn't stand a chance with guys like that. But AJ has been absolutely phenomenal. And I think that if he's hot, he's going to be the one closing out the game. If Rollins is hot, he'll do it. If KPJ is, he will. One thing I want to say about KPJ, though, he might be top 5 handle in the league. Like, when you watch that shot guy getting down and guys know that you have to go and he's freezing the guy this way and freezing the guy that way, there's a couple guys, obviously Kyrie, Steph Curry, those guys, but you intently watch Kevin Porter Jr. dribble the basketball. What they say, 538 dribbles? Oh, watch some of those dribbles if you really want to pay attention. And he's really getting guys open. He's making good passes. But you see a lot of him unlocking these bigs. Jericho Sims looks a lot better now that KPJ's in his run. Miles is looking better. Now, imagine what 34 has to do when he comes back. And when you got a team playing this well, hey, man, we might not need you against New Orleans. We might not need you to March 10th or 15th if this team continues to gel like this. We need you in enough time to gel with the team, but we also can give you a little bit of time to get fully healthy because we don't need that immediate push now and you to risk that calf and potentially anything else in that leg. Don't want to mention it.
He is. I mean, I listen. He has unleashed some guys, and I want to see even more of it with Miles Turner. I'm telling. Listen, wow, you just mentioned something, Justin. We talk about playoff runs, we talk about all this stuff. If they can get Miles Turner unleashed, like really unleashed to where he's playing kind of like how he was in Indiana, then you should be nervous. I think you'd be nervous anyway, but I feel like people be like, all right, listen, we know what we're doing. Again, you got to see more. You got 30. You got to see 29 more games left. Yeah, the Bucks gonna have to really show some stuff in the next 29 games for people to really start to catch on. But wow, this team might be good. And I think they are, but I think they're close. But I still think there are a lot of question marks still about this basketball team. I think when you look at the question marks, is Cam Thomas going to remain happy with whatever role he gets? Listen, you only played 8 minutes in the first half. I don't know how happy he was. I thought there was a chance that Darvin Ham could have put him back in the game, and he didn't. And I thought that was going to be a problem. Not that it was going to be. Let me take that back. I didn't think it was going to be a problem. But I thought it was just interesting. It was interesting to see he played 8 minutes in the first half, and I think Darvin Ham did that because that group in the third quarter started. They had a 14-0 run or whatever. They started rolling, and Darvin Ham just didn't take them out. So I wondered, that was interesting. But so I have questions about his role. What's he going to think if he doesn't get in that starting lineup? Is he going to is he going to be okay with that? I still have questions about how Doc Rivers. The big question number one is Doc Rivers. I still question his rotate. Again, the offense, everything's looking more intentional right now. I don't know how this is going to continue to look. So I question Doc Rivers. If we had a different coach, maybe this is different. But I question him. I question that. I question whether I saw KPJ in the playoffs. It didn't look great. Now, this regular season, I've been intrigued by it, but you got to show it to me in the playoff when the moments really matter too. I question our health with Giannis, with KPJ, Ryan Rollins plantar fasciitis, KPJ. I question all of that. That there's still I question Ousmane Dieng. I've seen it for 2 games, but I question. So there's a lot of things that are still question marks that hopefully can get answered over the next 29 games. But if you answer all those questions and you get Miles Turner hooping like Miles Turner can hoop, that's a very formidable team headed into the playoffs. Quick Draw McGraw says start the best player at each position. Damn. So again, I mean, if we're talking about best player at each position to me, then I would go. If you truly told me to break it down like that, I go KPJ, Ryan Rollins. It's crazy because I want to say Ousmane. I want to say Giannis. Crazy is you could say Sims, but I'd probably say Turner, just because I think he has more going for him. But
no, you got to say Turner.
You got to say Turner.
You got it. I like Sims. I like what Sims been doing in the screen and roll and the effort and the rebounding, and even I think he's opened up a little bit of scoring too around the paint. But Miles Turner just having a 3-ball, having a mid range, it unlocks a little more. So I think you got to say him. But yeah, man. I mean, this is again. All great things, all great problems to have when you're thinking about how this team is going to come back and what the rotations are going to look like. Doc just has to be putting these guys in the right spots. That's all I'm asking. Put these guys in the right spots, play the right guys. Do not have an affinity to certain guys. If they're off one night, take them out. Don't be unwilling to not start a guy because they're young or they're fresh and they're playing good basketball, but you've got an affinity to another guy who's been on the team for longer, or just however you know how that goes with the NBA. So, like, I want Doc to unlock the real potential. I thought Darvin did a really good job tonight in doing some of that and furthering that, because it really started with last night's win over the Magic. And, yeah, I think we've got a lot to look forward to. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy where we were at probably 15 games ago to now, with just the turnaround from John Horst, him being able to bring these two guys in and cut some of the loose fat off of the end of the bench. Just, I mean, what a time, what a pleasure it is to be a Bucks fan, because it was looking dark, and now obviously there's some optimism here.
Justin, let me get another super chat in before you go. I'm sorry. Hey, they rolling in here. I think this is a good question for everybody here. Abe Biscotti jumps in with another super chat. He says, if sustained performance must have a cause. I like the way he starts these off. If sustained performance must have a cause, and Jericho Sims' recent efficiency suggests one, what do you view as the primary driver of his surge? Role clarity, team system, or personal development? That's a very pointed question.
The vocabulary is
I know. Yeah, listen, man. You sound like. Hey, I told y'all every time now, man. I use chat. Any important email I send, I'll be on Chat GPT. I don't care. Hey, if it's an important email, I'm typing my thoughts together, and I go to Chat GPT and say rewrite, and it does it beautifully for me. But he says, what do you attribute to the sustained success now of Sims? Role clarity, team system, or personal development? I'm gonna give you a real JT answer and say I think it's all three. I honestly do, because he does have a role. His role is you either get it off the rim, drop step, alley-oop. That's it. That's all. And set hard screens and defend. He has a very defined role on this basketball team. We ain't asked you to do nothing crazy. We're asking you to do, like, it's kind of like if you can get the best out of Ajax. It's almost like we want to limit whatever flaws you have. We're gonna limit the use of them, and we're just gonna play to your strengths. And that's all we're asking Sims to do. We're gonna play to every strength that you have. And so that's what you have from there. And then the next, he said, of course it went away. Go back to it. Then the next one is team system. The system has changed. They're moving the ball more. And when you're moving the ball more, you get guys moving around. You have more opportunity to catch Sims in that drop step, or you're running sets to get the roll and get the lob to the basket. So yeah, I think the system has to do with it too. And then it's personal development too, because it's not just Justin. I mean, I used to I used to play at Howard, and the coaches used to tell me this. They say, I could put you in position 85% of the time. He said 85% of the game is on me. That's alignment, assignment, putting you where you're supposed to be, giving you the keys, making sure you watch film so that you know what to look for. 85% of the game is me. But when you on that, I can't do nothing when the back is coming through the hole, and I can put you in position. I can't make the tackle for you. The other 15% is your God-given ability. What are you gonna do with it? I can put you in the cover too, and you sink for width and depth. But when the ball's in the air, you gonna make a play. I can't make the play for you. So if clarity and system have put Sims in the 85% to where he's there to make the play, you got to make it. How many times we've seen him in the rebound and ball fly out his hand or throw the alley-oop there? And it seems like in the last 5, 6, 7 games, he's, again, hand-eye coordination. He's making those catches. He's grabbing a loose ball. He's blocking without, I don't think he's doing, not all his fouls come off of screens now. So again, I mean, the illegal moving screens. So I think a lot of that is him as well, just playing better. But it's a great question. I think it's all the above. But again, hats off to Sims. And another guy that John Horst saw it, and we saw it when he first got to Milwaukee. We were like, this guy has something. Jumping Jericho. Listen, man, he's playing some good basketball.
Yes, he is. And I think, yeah, you're hitting it right on the head with all three of those. But I could really, again, expand on what KPJ's been able to do with him just off of the screen and roll. I think that has to do with just playing your role and knowing your role. And also, yeah, I think personal development. There was one, I think it was last night, where KPJ throws it up. He catches it one-handed and punches it. And it's like, you did have some issues with the coordination aspect. You did have some issues where it looked like maybe he was physically gifted more so than athletically or coordination-wise, sorry. Like, I think that you've seen an improvement in just the basketball skill. And that's really important and crazy to say I think he's 26 now? 26, maybe 27, something like that. So for him to still be developing a little later than most, I think it's a really good sign for the Bucks that he may still have some untapped in potential there. And who knows, maybe an offseason or two, you get a mid-range, you get a hook, you get some of those things going, and he could be a real threat off of the bench in this league.
I think you gentlemen are spot on. If I had to throw anything else on top of it, it would be Vin Baker, man. You see him working with Vin Baker before the game. Vin Baker's in charge of the bigs on the bench, and I just think he does a good job with them. He catches the ball, and he's looking to move the ball or score the ball. He looks a lot more confident, and Vin and that coaching staff is doing a phenomenal job with him. I think they're doing a good job with Pete Nance and the rest of the bigs that are on the floor too. And it's a good thing to see, man. And if he's going to come in a basketball game and he's going to get 6 to 7, what do you have, 5, 6 rebounds a day, and he missed almost a whole second quarter in foul trouble? I mean, he came in and got 4 rebounds to start the second half, I feel like, because he finished a half with 1 rebound, and I don't know what he finished with, but he's impressive, man. It's going to get better. And, even when those benches kind of shrink a little bit once you get to the playoffs, this bench may be able to stay where it is and not have to shrink as much. It's going to be an interesting time, man. And I think Gary Trent Jr. still has something left in the tank for the end of the year, too. And he's going to have to be untapped and maybe sit at the end of the bench is something that will help him tremendously. Or everyone's talking about getting this guy or that guy on the buyout market. Maybe it's not Andre Jackson Jr. the guy that's sitting walking. Maybe it's Gary Trent Jr. Who knows?
It definitely could be. Because he has not played well. Listen, I mean, I don't know. I'll say this: I trust John Horst tremendously. Whatever he wants to do at the buyout market, I'm cool with it. If he wants to keep this roster as is, I'm cool with it. If he just wants to get rid of Ajax and bring Pete Nance on as a full time, I'm cool with it. I'm gonna let John Horst rock out with this roster. I will say this, thinking ahead, I've seen enough where I am upping my thought process on Giannis deciding to come back. Like, again, I think you can get all these guys back. I think Dieng, I think you give him a a deal. I think he's probably going to get more than Rollins. If he plays like this, he's going to get more than Rollins. But you lock him up for 3-4. You lock him up on something very team friendly, and just lock him up with the limited amount of production he's giving you. You lock him up. You lock up. I think you can get KPJ back. I think you can get him back, and I think you can get, if Cam Thomas is bought in, you can get Cam Thomas back, and you can have all of those guys back, and then you send out Kuzma for whatever, and you can listen. You can start. You can really get to starting this thing right over. So, and he says, Rock Days says, hopefully Bucks don't get burned again after they gave GTJ and Green. Well, again, Green has if Green plays, he has a good deal. Like Green is making. He's making like $10, $11 million a year. That's not a bad deal. But AJ Green's not making, AJ Green is good money. Good money. James Moore says Jackson Jr. is rolling team. No, he doesn't. He don't have no role. He don't have no role. He don't have a role. I don't want to say he doesn't have a role. It's funny. There's a look around topic that I sent you guys that I want to get at, and we'll get at it when we so stick around, James, because Jackson Jr. is a part of that convo that Gilbert Arenas had, and I'm very interested to see how kind of where we fall on it. But the Bucks win it tonight. They do win it. What's the final in OKC? 110-93. Anything else? We'll go to Twitter. Got a lot of Twitter comments. Anything else that you guys want to address from this game or on the Bucks? There's a 110-93 victory. Bucks are 23-30 on the year. Looking to make their way into the play-in.
Yeah, I would say to your point about Giannis, I think this would be a really appealing group if you are able to lock those guys up after this year. And I think that, look, it may not have been before this deadline, so I can't underestimate, or I can't talk enough about what John Horst was able to do for this basketball team. Once again, at the deadline, around the margins, working to get this team to have some appeal towards Giannis. And then we'll see what happens in the offseason. And you may have to move off one of those guys that you talked about bringing back to maybe grab another piece that would be more exciting. But all, again, good problems to have.
John Horst, man, I almost gave away a game ball. Lord have mercy. John Horst, the thing about him, man, he makes a lot of mistakes in the draft, and I think everyone kind of points that out. But the thing I love about John Horst is he's not afraid to accept his mistake and move on and get that dude up out of here and go find someone who belongs better with this team. Flipping Marjan for KPJ, flipping Amar Coffey and Amir Coffey, Amar, whatever. Didn't he get bought out from Phoenix too, or he's about to get bought out?
I'm not sure.
And what's the other dude? Huh?
I'd love to grab Kawhi. I'd love to grab. No, not this year. Next
summer.
Next year in the summer. You get Kawhi.
But he just gets the guys out of here, whether it's DJ Wilson, whoever it is. He takes his shots. Sometimes he swings and misses, and he doesn't just stand and hold on to it and say, I got to keep this first-round pick here for as long. Because remember, DJ Wilson and DJ Augustin was a trade for PJ Tucker and a bunch of other stuff to go along with that. So, hey, man, I think we're in good shape with John Horst, and I think that's why Giannis is here. I think that's why Giannis is going to stay here forever, and I think he's going to continue to build one. And this is the biggest if in the world, all caps, if this team could find a way to get out the first round, if this team could find a way to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, Lord have mercy, make the NBA Finals. Lord have mercy, have a parade. This would be the greatest championship in the history of championships, in my opinion.
It would. I ain't going that far, but it definitely would. If the Bucks can really turn this season around. All right, let's keep rolling here. Let's go to Twitter. At JD Heinzich says Giannis returns soon. The Milwaukee Bucks have caught fire just in time. Oh, we got a Debbie Downer at 920 rep says back to reality once we play a real team. Come on. Let's see. At S, I guess not. At SB, the Thunder not a real team. At SB08 user says finally fun to watch the Bucks again. What do you think our guard rotation will be post break? Well, we kind of talked about that already about the guard rotation. So hope SB was listening in. At T-Bone _315 says almost wish there wasn't a break now. Absolutely. At Porque No Gooey says better players. Thank you, Horse. better process. Why now? Better effort. Giannis is staying. Might as well keep rolling. The tank is busted. At ULX, Ulixi says, F the tank, get Giannis back. We have a team. At Moniker says, I knew day one Oos was good, but didn't think it would be this quick. At Scarcity Student said, lucky that pin was never pulled over the last 2 weeks. Man, we were close, so close to tearing it all down. Now we are back. That is crazy. That is how close were the Bucks to losing Giannis? And now, the thought process around this fan base when you thought Giannis was going to be going to where the Bucks are right now. It's different. At NYC Rand says, Ousmane Dieng. Jang, besides barely playing Cam Thomas, Darvin had the team hooping tonight. Love the defensive aggression we played with. And Ousmane, Cam, and Pete have changed our bench production so damn much. It's ridiculous. At Sunk 345 says, what a pickup Ousmane Dieng has been. A lottery pick coming off the bench of the best team in the league, available for basic scraps, and the Bucks took advantage of it. Horse pivoting from Nick Richards to this young talent may have just saved our franchise. A couple more here. At Twin Fo Life 09 says, team effort today, great ball movement. Salute to Ham. And let's do the last one. At Drew Behringer. Drew Behringer's a funny guy because he's one of the biggest Debbie Downers in all way. He read up and down, however it goes. If Drew Behringer's happy, then, what do you want me to say? He says definitely going to find their way into the play-in, and anything can happen with the healthy, locked-in Giannis surrounded by dudes who can shoot the rock. So Drew Behringer is locked in until the Bucks lose a couple games in a row, and then he'll tell us how the season is over. All right. Anything else from Twitter you found interesting, and we go to game balls?
It's good to have it positive.
It is. It absolutely is. All right, let's go to game. Go ahead.
Where your boy at? Where your boy, the Wisconsin kid at, man?
I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing from Wisconsin.
He only come out with a Huh?
It's because Darvin Ham coached tonight. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing. Let's see. Game balls, where you guys going?
Man, it's tough.
It's got to be Oos, right?
Yeah,
it's got to be Oos. Because, just coming in back-to-back nights and showing what you can do, showing the variety tonight as opposed to yesterday where he was really solid from just beyond the arc and obviously defensively and effort-wise. But today you saw the variety. You saw scoring off the dribble again. You saw the ability to knock down shots without even having to put the ball down where you just keep it up. And the rebounding, the blocks, just everything about Oos's night was great and deserves a game ball and deserves recognition. So Ousmane Dieng, a.k.a. It's Just Me, Oos, a.k.a. Revenge Game, a.k.a. Should have never let me go. So that's to multiple teams, too.
Right.
3 times in 24 hours traded. It's crazy.
Wow. I gotta split mine up. I got a little 3-way action, man. I gotta split my joint up, man. I chop it up, man. Chris took care of Big Oos, so that's good money. So first, my guy that actually played in the game, I got to go to AJ Green. Had a tough couple weeks. Great rebound of a basketball game tonight. Shot the ball well, passed the ball well, played tough, good, hard-nosed defense. Just phenomenal basketball player. The other half, I have to give it to our coach, Darvin Ham. Thought he had great rotations tonight. Thought he got the guys in the position to win. And the last part of this has to go to Mr. Horse. You got all these guys here, and you got this collective group here. So, AKA, that's my big 3 for the night. I don't got too many AKAs. It's shooting that thing all the way from North Dakota, South Dakota, Northern Iowa, Southern Iowa, anywhere. Put AJ Green in the gym. That's where his range starts.
There you go. I'm gonna double it up, man. I'm gonna go Oos, man. I gotta go Oos. 19, 11, 6 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks, 7 for 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 3 of 4 from the line, a plus 16. Was he a team high? No, Bobby was a team high, plus 19. But plus 16 for Oos. I was impressed, and again, I was impressed that last night, and I was skeptical. What I really wanted, you guys know, I always want to see, can you follow that up? Because it'd have been easy. If Usa had even just an average night, he put up 10 points and 5 boards. I'd have been like, bet. I like the kid as long as you show me something. But he went out and upped his performance from last night, which impressed me. Like, it's a physical dominant team, a team that just traded him, just got rid of him, and he showed them what was up. So Ousmane Dieng gets my game ball, a.k.a. It's just me, Oos. Day one, it's just me, Oos. A.k.a. Rush Hour 4, a.k.a. Oh, my bad, he from France. A.k.a. a.k.a. Hey, a.k.a. I saw some stuff make my pecker get hard. I saw. All right, one more time for the late night. That's all the AKAs I got. All right, let's go. Let's look around the league tonight in the NBA. What's happening in the association? Somebody said the Jazz are beating the Trailblazers, but they are down by 12 here, 127-115. Maybe did they take? Did Utah tank the second half? Put up 23 points in the third quarter. You saw they just got fined $500,000. They're down by 12 to the Blazers. Lakers and Mavericks are 64-63 at the half right now on Prime. Bucks beat the Thunder tonight, 110-93. Okay, so that's everything that we got. Obviously, you have the All-Star game code. But I wanted to ask you guys. This. Let me see. I wanted to ask you guys a couple different questions here. One about Gilbert Arenas. This goes to the question somebody had about Ajax. But Gilbert Arenas was on his show or pod or YouTube, whatever, and he basically said that essentially what he said was, and it was a debate as to what do you value more, a player who offensively is limited but can play great defense, or a great a guy who can play offense but who basically doesn't defend. So it's kind of like the Ajax comparison versus a guy who plays only like a Luka, right? Like what would you? And it's kind of like I guess somewhere along the lines that's what he's asking, like, or even a better, even a more impactful defender who can't play offense. Like, what do you value more? His whole point was that you value the offensive player more because if he lights you up, his analogy was, or it wasn't an analogy, but his example was, if I average 25 a night, 30 a night, and you put this great high-level defender on me who can't do anything on offense, and he stops me, and let's say I get 20, and I'm not as efficient, but I'm able to give all my attention and energy to offense. His whole point was, if I'm not a great defender, when I go down the other end, I can just guard him, and I'm resting. I ain't got to do nothing on offense. So his whole point was, the guy who plays offense and then play defense is way more impactful because I can go rest on that worst offensive guy, and it's a net neutral for my defense. Do you agree? That's what I was interested in the point that he made. Do you agree with that, or like where do you land on that?
As surprising as it may be, I agree with Gilbert Arenas here. I do agree. I don't always agree and rarely agree with Gilbert Arenas, but yeah, I just think that you look at some of the premier defenders and they can still give you a good amount of points on any given night. Like, you look at what Toumani Camara did a couple nights ago. I think he went for 30, like one of the premier defenders in this league. You look at what Lou Dort can do. I mean, even on some of his bad nights, he can still score the ball a little bit, put it in the hoop. But that's about it. Like, some of the ones that are the premier defenders, they can score the ball as well. But
we'll go to like a Rudy Gobert who has won multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards. Who, again, he's not a great. I mean, to me he's really a rebounder and really he's not like you wouldn't call him a good. I mean, his buckets really come off of rebounds and drop. Kind of he's not quite like he's not as offensively limited as Jericho Sims,
right.
But I mean he's pretty limited offensively. Like, what about guys like him?
I mean, I would say that, again, there's a reason why that those guys are still able to stay in this league and have value, because they can also score. Like, they can score too. Like, Rudy Gobert can score, and that's a product of his rebounding and the effort. And he does have a little bit of, that lob threat and maybe a hook shot here and there. But after that, like I'm pretty much convinced I'm going to take the offensive player because I just think that it outweighs being able to. Again, we look at the season that we had, short-lived season with Adrian Griffin, and it's like, okay, what's the best? What did JT say? What's the next
The best defense is a made 3-pointer.
Yeah. The best defense is another made 3-pointer on offense. So I think it is a make or miss league again, and those guys who are offensively gifted and can score and go for 34. You saw it last night with Cam Thomas, right? Like his matchup with Jalen Suggs only goes for 16. He might play great defense, but he's not putting up 34 last night. And so, I think the offensive part is a little more valuable because then I look at the worst of the worst with guys who can defend at a high level but can't do anything offensively. I look at it Ajax and I'm like, yeah, I'd pretty much rather always have Cam Thomas.
I think in all sports, great offense always beats great defense. But when you have a great offensive player that is not great defensively, that's who the fans are going to complain about the most. When you look at it in Bucks history, you look at Glenn Big Dog Robinson, they complained about him, Jabari Parker, Bobby Portis. Nets fans complained about Cam Thomas. Hawks fans complained about Trae Young. That's what fans try to pick on the most. But I think at the end of the day, when you need a bucket, you got to get a bucket. And unfortunately, you look at a guy that came in and really grinded his teeth on the defensive end, but had to develop a lot more offensive game at that with a guy that I would think of is like Marcus Smart. And now he's at the point where he can make a bucket or two and he can take over a basketball game. But we can't totally discount. And Gilbert has a lot of credence to what he says, and a lot of it is spot on. But you cannot impact the relevance of a defensive player coming to a team, because if PJ does not come to the Bucks, I don't believe we get over that hump. And right, it's not just
that's
necessarily.
The thing. He can make a three. Like he could make a three in the corner. And
not as much when he came back when he was in Phoenix, when he got to Milwaukee, man, that 3-ball was his offense game was kind of cooked.
Yeah, I know, but that's like an intangible. You talk about threat. I mean,
yes,
he was a threat to at least step out and catch and shoot and make a three here and there. And that's why I think, like, when you look at these premier defenders, right, like they always have at least something that keeps them around offensively.
So Ajax has to hit that gym though. If we're doing it solely for the Bucks, and I'm sure he has been hitting the gym, so we're not calling the dude out saying he's not working, but. Not trying to be a jerk, but what you're doing isn't working well enough because you're not touching the floor, and this is year 4. And you might have, after Giannis and maybe Sims, he's top 3 most athletic players on the team, I would say. Well, now you got Ousmane and all these other guys, but start of the year, he was top 3 athletic players. So I think you need that strong defense, but you got to be able to score the basketball. I can have a guy like Damian Lillard who struggles defensively, who's going to go out and if you score 2 on him, he's going to score 3 on you. So I guess I agree with Gilbert as well.
Yeah, as always, it kind of depends. Because again, if you're talking about just say one-on-one type of talent, a one-to-one kind of scenario, yes, like I'd rather have Luka over the best defender who can't score at all. But going back to like people talking about the title, value defense over defense win championships. Remember Bobby Portis, because of how he was playing, couldn't games 5, 6, and 7 in Brooklyn. He didn't play in that championship series in that series because he couldn't get out there. And PJ Tucker, who could defend, and was a shell of himself offensively, he did play. So again, I think so I think it's harder for a role player. For a role player, you probably prefer. See, it doesn't work for Ajax like that, but you probably would prefer the defense, I would say, over the offense. For a player who's a little better, I would prefer the offense over the defense. Like a Rudy Gobert type, I would prefer if you want to say Rudy Gobert is the premier defender in the league, he's a multiple time defensive player of the year guy. I would prefer a scoring champ over him, because who doesn't play? Like I would prefer.
You're not getting many of those at the center spot.
Well, sure. Well, I mean, Joel Embiid defends, but I'm saying, you got your best ones. Joker who really doesn't play a lot of defense. Joker's a good example of a guy who He's basically a stump. Now, what he does do well is rebound because he's a stump, and take it for whatever you want about defensive rebounding. We know how important that is in Milwaukee, but yeah, Quack me says Ajax shooting 27% from the field, 19% from three. Yeah, it's tough for him to be out there and play, but Joker's a guy who, again, that he does that. He basically doesn't defend. He only rebounds, and he's a high level offensive player. I'd rather have him over. He's won a championship. I'd rather have him over Rudy Gobert.
Oh, and maybe Ajax.
I agree.
Maybe Ajax is the wrong comparison too, because he is like the most limited of all.
He's very limited. He's very limited.
Maybe like a Triple J.
Triple J he can score. I wouldn't call him he's not limited. I wouldn't call him a limited offense. He can score back to the basket. He can do it. Triple J can play.
What about Hachimura then for the Lakers?
He can hit a three ball too.
But I think all your defense specialist guys have to do, and I think that's what Chris was kind of getting at. You have to develop some type of specialty. You can't just be I'm gonna shut you down because you're not shutting anything down in the NBA.
Caruso's a good, but he has a little bit of he can hit the three too. But he's a limited offensive player.
I'll give you one. Pat Bev in his prime.
Pat Bev is a limited offensive player too. He out the league.
Well, and then they also didn't win anything. Pat Bev never won anything.
No, he never did. Pat Bev was a menace.
Like I think the idea sounds a lot better than it actually is.
That's a good. Dennis Rodman, ultimate only defense. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a Dennis Rodman's a really good one, and yeah, you would want him on your team as a role guy. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's just interesting take that I wanted to think about. Did y'all? Another thing I want to get. Did you see this conversation that Kevin Durant had where he was upset because I believe a reporter asked him about the level of play in the All-Star game, and KD kind of went the race card and said, "You guys don't ask Joker this. You guys don't ask Luka." And he kind of basically pushed it back on the Europeans and said, don't ask me why." He said something like reading between the. He said you can read between the lines. Good call on Bruce Bowen. James Moore said Bruce Bowen. It's a good call. He get a 3-2 though, but good call. But with his bow ties. But KD kind of pushed. Say what?
Bruce Brown.
Yeah, Bruce Brown. Yeah, Bruce Brown got a little game to him too. But yeah,
shoot that thing.
Yeah, he got a little game. Tony Allen.
But like realistically, like we're not. But where it gets mixed up too in the comments is like, all right, I'm not expecting to build a team around 5 only offensive players or whatever.
Yes.
Like it's gonna be, you're gonna have guys like a Giannis who's a two-way beast on offense too. Like that's just not how it works. Like I mean, I think definitely like somebody who's better on defense than they are on offense certainly is a great piece to a title. Certainly a great piece to a good team. I just don't know, like, what are we actually talking about here? Is it somebody like that's coming off the bench? Because it's just the parameters you set around it would change probably opinions.
I agree. I think the role is important in that too. But yeah, so KD basically pushed the question back to ask Joker, ask Luka, why are you asking me why the level of all-star intensity has gone down? You don't ask those guys. And the kind of discussion around that was, what are you trying to say? Are you saying that people, and I think what he's trying to say was, for whatever reason, he believes that a lot of times it's the Americans that are getting, a lot of the blowback from not playing hard in the All-Star games, and people are giving guys like Joker and Luka those types of pass. Now, what I will say to qualify that is All-Star games are not a thing in Eastern Europe. That's like the concept of them. Probably they don't stop a season in the middle of it to do an All-Star game. That's not something that they do. Now, again, you look at it, Giannis is a foreigner who plays very hard. Wemby has already said he wants to play very hard in the All-Star game. But what do you take out of that? Do you think who do you give fault to for the reason the All-Star game has been what it is? And I know we talked about a little bit, but I think we do expect the World versus USA to have at least a little bit of juice in year one.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily who to put the blame on. I think it's a collective. I wouldn't just say the European players. I think it is a collective of just where the game's going, man. Like, you see a ton of injuries happen all the time throughout the course of regular season. A lot of guys tearing their Achilles, stuff like that. And I think it's just a risk factor. I think these guys don't want to get hurt playing an All-Star game. And regardless if it happened in the past or not, I think it is a real risk of going out and doing that. But the only other thing I would then argue that with is like, okay, if it's such a big risk, then why are these guys going out in the offseason and playing for their national countries? Like, that's a counterpoint to that. So I'm not really sure who to put the blame on. I think it's probably the players as a collective.
Yeah, no, that's a great point you bring up about these players playing for their country in the offseason. I mean, I still have the horrifying memory of Paul George tearing up his leg in that USA basketball practice. But I think one thing about KD is I think that he needs to take a step back sometimes and realize that he is one of the faces of the league. And maybe sometimes those questions are sent to him because he's been an all-star other than LeBron longer than anybody, I would say. Maybe there's a couple other guys that have been in longer than him. And it's more of an ode of respect to him and not really a diss. But it's like what Chris said, it's the collectiveness of the NBA. How bad would it be to see Victor Wembanyama tear his ACL playing in a meaningless game when the Spurs have championship aspirations as a 2 seed in the West? Or to see Joker pull a hamstring and be out for the next 3 weeks and the Nuggets go from, I don't know where they are now, so I'm just, don't kill me, chat, but from a 3 to a 7. I really think we could we can do away with all this all-star stuff, man. Like, just do away with it. The attendance is down. People aren't really coming. You're charging an exorbitant amount for tickets. Your normal fans can't even go to the games anymore. And when we go, we're relegated to the nosebleeds because all the corporate folks and, the people with the black cards like JT and Trey, Chris, they sit down there in the lowers while us normal folks go up to the upper deck and, we're just happy to sit next to Bobby Phil's banner in the arena and see Giannis on the Jumbotron. I feel like I paid $800 to watch Giannis play on the Jumbotron in Charlotte, but it's all good. I can say I was there. All-Star, man, it's just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm an old fart. It doesn't move me anymore. I'm be tuned in, though. I'm excited. That's why I got my underdog stuff on today, ready for my man to win the 3-point contest. And but I don't know, man. All-Star is draining.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think that I didn't really get what Katie was talking about. Honestly, I thought that, again, it was just a crazy comment. Ask Luka, ask Joker. Yeah, I agree they don't play hard, but again, to me, those guys, KD, LeBron, y'all are the ones who were the changing of the guard, who were there, who didn't keep up with the tradition of what the players before you were doing. And Kevin Garnett always brings it back to that time that I believe Kobe challenged LeBron. Remember that one on, I can't remember what year it was, that also he slapped the floor and said, "Come on." And how many times have we seen that in All-Star and lure in the past where, these mano matches late in the game and you have that one-on-one with great players because that's what you want to see. LeBron passed the ball. And KG basically said that was when everything changed, when LeBron didn't take that one-on-one challenge and he passed the ball. And that's what kind of changed things. So we'll see. I'll tell you guys, man, I've been watching All-Star forever. I feel like it's just something I always do. I'm a hoop head. You guys know I've been watching this Lakers Mavericks game as we've been talking this whole time. It's hard to give up on it. I've given up completely on the Pro Bowl stuff. I didn't watch 1 second of whatever the hell they did. The only thing I saw were clips on Twitter of I saw Shador throw an interception. I think I saw him throw a touchdown. It's literally all I saw from the Pro Bowl. So I've given up completely on that kind of stuff, and I don't want to get like that about all because all it's supposed to be fun, man. I went to one All-Star game in my life. That was matter of fact, I was in LA, 2016, I think it was. That was it. Giannis was in it. It was great. Fergie sang that was the year Fergie sang national anthem.
Migos performed, right?
I think it was Migos. Matter of fact, you talk about
sit.
See, I knew he's about to do where you sit. So I did.
Watch this, Craig. watch this, Chris. Watch this, Chris. Here it comes.
So we were guests of the Bucks. So the Bucks had us. I was sitting in. It's funny. I was sitting right in front of Gary Payton, who couldn't. He cussed the whole damn. I mean, it was every word. MF this, F this. I was sitting behind Gary Payton, and I was sitting beside. Catch this. Guess who I was sitting beside?
Who?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I was sitting.
Wow.
I was sitting with Kareem. And behind me was Gary Payton. Gary Payton had a son, not Junior, but there's another son, I think, or a family member that was with him. And then I was squished. There was a bunch of NBA guys. I didn't know half these guys. I think like Vernon Maxwell. It was somebody. I was somebody beside me. I don't know who it was. But it was fun. I remember seeing what's my man who just died not too long ago. Bill Walton. Bill Walton. Was walking around there. I thought it was cool. Another guy who died, man, who I saw was in front of me was he was courtside. Was T'Challa, a Black Panther. So I was
Chadwick Boseman.
Damn, I didn't even say his name. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, him. Chris Tucker was acting a fool. So it was real cool. It was a real fun experience. But yeah, and I think matter of fact. No, I wasn't a black card. The Bucks got us in there. But the other thing that was cool though was I went to the celebrity game. Real weird. It was a weird atmosphere. I don't know what they hype it up. Like it looks cool and it was real low key. Like it was in the convention center. It was like not. It was real low key. I think Migos won it. What's the man name for Migos? Quavo. Yeah, I think he won MVP. He was hooping for real. But anyway, it was cool.
Yeah, they had the All-Star at Bojangles in Charlotte at the Coliseum. It wasn't even at the Spectrum Center, man.
Oh, that's where it was.
Yeah. There's a vibe. I mean, I would tell you if you can go before they get rid of it, go, because even if you got to sit where the normal people sit, not like Trey sat next to Cream and stuff like that, you know. You just walk it around. If you like to be in the mix and be around athletes and other basketball fans, you're gonna get people from all over the world come. And some of these folks, man, this is their only time to see their favorite player and see the guys of yesteryear and stuff like that. I remember walking around Charlotte and Muggsy Bogues is walking around. I'm like, dude, I really look down on you. This is crazy. Chris Middleton's dad was in the gift shop and I had a Bucks 22 jersey on. He was like, that's a nice jersey. Saw Sidney Moncrief on the elevator. That's the first time I met Sir Squid. So it's a great experience and we got to get it to Milwaukee, man. We deserve it.
I would love to see it in Milwaukee. Don't know if it will happen. Anything else that you guys want to get? Anything else to look around wise you guys want to get into before we get into All-Star Weekend? Yeah.
I got some.
Go ahead.
I need your gentlemen's picks for the 3-point competition and the dunk contest before we get out of here.
Okay, dunk contest. I don't even know who's in it. So who's in the dunk contest?
I'm gonna read that for you. I figured I was gonna need to do that.
Yeah,
dunk contest first.
Yeah, give me who's in the dunk contest.
All right, you got Carter Bryant.
Who?
Rookie from what's the boy from Arizona? You got Jackson Hayes.
Okay, I know Jackson Hayes.
Jace Richardson, and I'm missing one.
And who else?
Kashad Johnson from the Miami Heat.
I'm gonna go Jace Richardson. Didn't we just played Jace Richardson, didn't we?
Yeah. We did. He couldn't shoot at all.
Yeah, I'll go Jace Richardson just because I just saw him. No other reason. I'm gonna go Jace Richardson.
Yeah. Who you got, Chris?
Who was the last one? Is that the cat from Arizona?
No, that Carter Bryant.
No, you
I
said
Kashad Johnson from he's a Miami Heat. He averages 3.1 points a game.
Yeah. I'll go with Kashad Johnson. I know him from Arizona. He played at Arizona. He can jump. I think Kashad Johnson will win. And it's typically those players. It's typically those players that average 3 points a game.
Are the ones that win it.
Yeah.
Man, JT missed it. He's gonna watch this back. He's gonna be excited because I'm gonna go Carter Bryant. All right, your 3-point competition. You got Devin Booker, Con Kanipo, Damian Lillard, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, Bobby Portis, and Norman Powell.
So I'm looking at this Con Kanipo, Maxey, Murray, and Portis have all never. This is their first time they've done it. Man, I wanted to pick Maxey, but I didn't want to pick somebody who hadn't done it before. So that's going to make me say no to him. That would have been my first choice. I'm going to go, because of that, I'm going to go D-Book to win the 3-point contest. I would go Dame, but I ain't seen him shoot a 3 all year. So I don't know. Again, he should be good. I mean, he should be good. That's all I've been doing in the gym is just working. I don't know what he's been doing. So if Dame been playing all year, so I'll say this. So this is how I'm qualified. I'm picking 3 guys. If Maxey if it wasn't his first time doing it, I would pick Maxey. If Dame wasn't hurt all year, I would pick Dame. Because I can't pick either one of those guys, I'm gonna go D-Book. But it would be a hell of if Dame won it. That would probably be the best story of the night. If Dame won it off a torn Achilles. And again, I just let you know, I have no ill will towards Dame. I talk shit about him for his time here. I only talk shit about his play. That's all. I ain't got no problem with Dame. I would love to see Damian Lillard win a 3-point contest. That'd be a great story. I would love to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to throw the haven't done it before out the window. I'm going to go with Maxey. I think Maxey will get it done.
You know what I'm going with.
Yeah,
I'm going with Big Bob.
BP. Yeah, I already know.
But if it's not Bob, I'm going to go with Con Kanipo. Y'all want to do the skills championship competition thing?
Who the hell's in that?
So you got Team All-Star, Scotty Barnes, Chet Holmgren, Richard Hamilton.
I ain't doing nothing with Scotty Barnes in it.
Rick Rip.
Team Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Cat, and Allen Houston.
Allen Houston, okay.
Team
Are they changing?
Cameron.
Are they doing something different this year? Are they still doing
obviously adding one legend?
Yeah, I mean, outside. I mean, are they still are they gonna have them run up the floor and shit? Are they just because it used to be they used to do the shooting thing with the old school guys? I ain't know they had them run up the floor. Okay.
Team Cameron, Jalen Johnson, Con Kanipo, and Corey Maggette.
Corey Maggette.
Jalen Johnson what to do?
Yeah.
And then you got Team Harper, Dylan Harper, Ron Harper Jr., and Ron Harper Sr.
Nah. Give me that second team again.
Second team was Jalen Brunson, Cat, and Allen Houston.
I'll go that group. I'll go Brunson, Cat, and Allen Houston.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. I think Allen Houston's probably the most in shape guy.
Yeah.
at that point, and also he could shoot the 3. Maybe they'll have him knock one down. So, yeah, I'll go with the Knicks.
Yeah, we talked about the 30-rack mask on the other day. I think my boy Ron Harper's had a couple 30 racks in his life. We talking about them beers, but I'm gonna go with the Harpers because I like the whole last name thing. And then lastly, man,
you know Ron Harper's from Dayton.
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Not the kids.
Special one. He got what?
Not the kids though. They're from like New Jersey or something.
Man, that brother he traveled all around the NBA too. Started out as a Cav, I believe. He said Corey Maggette's at an all-star event. That's crazy. A&T versus Hampton. Who you got?
I'll go A&T because it's the crib.
Yeah.
Hey, WSSU women been hooping.
Who?
WSSU women been hooping. Winston State women been hooping.
Nice. We're going to go CIAA this year. We got Maya and Tuco.
Where's that? Is it still in I remember they used to do it in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, it's in Baltimore? It's in Baltimore. Man, I remember CIAA was in Charlotte back in the day. Man, I used to be at a CIAA all the time. That used to be a great event, man. And it's Only thing that sucked was nobody came for the actual games, but the event, everything else would be packed. But if you were there for the game, you saw Mr. CIAA, rest in peace, walking around all over the place, which was real dope.
Man, them games would look like Utah versus Sacramento.
Yes.
But the championship game would always be packed.
And CIAA would always be like, outside. It would be like ACC, SEC, and then the most attended conference.
It'd be two.
Oh, it'd be two. It was like two.
I know it was 2 or 3. ACC 1, CIAA 2.
Yeah, CIAA was always a highly attended conference. So conference championship or conference tournament. So shout out to everybody. Yeah, The Wire was good. James Moore's good show. All right, anything else you might want to get at before we get up out of here?
That's all I got.
All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff, everybody. Man, a lot of super chats tonight. We appreciate it. A lot of you guys were in the chat. A lot of you guys still in the chat and still riding with us here late as we approach midnight on the East Coast. You made it. You have all made it to the All-Star break. Congratulations. I don't know. Maybe we will do something like, I don't know. We might end up doing something. We might not. I'm not sure yet. We'll talk about it. But again, appreciate it. Congratulations for making it to the All-Star break. You got 29 more of these things left. I believe in the season for the Milwaukee Bucks, at least for the regular season. And then we got to play in playoffs, whatever that is. Keep believing, keep the fight. This team's won 5 of their last 6. They're not done yet. They haven't stopped fighting. So let's not stop fighting for them. King says, great show. We appreciate it. Again, we thank everybody in the chat. We thank you if you watched on Twitter, if you watched on YouTube. I know on Twitter we talked about there was an issue with the retweeting the show and things of that nature. That seems to be a Twitter issue. Hopefully they'll get that fixed at some point. But live streams for whatever reason aren't showing up on Twitter or something. There's something weird's going on with them. So we'll figure that out. James Moore says, thanks for the show. We'll be here next Friday. Absolutely. Be here in between that too. If we have anything, any breaking news or what have you. Again, we thank you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us and we appreciate it. Hit that like button. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit that like button on the way out. As always, make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend about the group. This is the best Milwaukee Bucks postgame show on all of the land, often imitated, never duplicated. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Group, sir.
Chris King.
Justin.
If I am your enemy, it is only because I dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels.